Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is I don't even know who the hell this is. Well, I think it's Beer Samurai, but it says L Beer Samurai. So let's see who he is.
It is El Beer Samurai.
L Beer Samurai. How are you, Mr. L?
That's Mr. L. We did say Mr. L, didn't we?
I did say Mr. L.
No. You know I was in Austin.
Yes, you were.
Our guests do. And then I was at this brewery right here. This is Austin Beer Works.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this great vending machine with all this cool stuff in it.
Right.
And so I saw this packaging.
And you had to get it.
And I had to get it. And this is the one I got. It's like, okay, I like this. But from what I understand is once you put one on, you're not allowed to take it off for life, right?
You put it on, it's on forever. So you are forever going to be in that at work, on this show, and wherever you go.
Yeah.
I just write out.
I'm just
at work, on the show, and wherever you're going.
You just turned into Dr. Seuss there.
I did.
But I'm not Mexican, so I don't think the law applies to me. So.
Probably not. No.
Okay. So
I think you're all right.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
That's
still got those on.
Still got the shades on there. So.
Yeah, because you need to have that. You know how Daredevil has the red things in his, in his eye holes because he's.
Yes,
blind,
I do.
Because he's blind, but I just figured it looks better that way. It's kind of.
And hey, look, if you look at the promo photo for the Get On With It Sports podcast, what's Harry wearing?
Harry's wearing a luchador mask.
Yes, he is. So there you go.
So, and he is obviously taken it off. So
he has taken it off. Yes.
I managed to because for the fans of the show who have seen many episodes, you've seen Tony Drury, Alacron on the show. I got to meet him on this trip, and when I surprised him by wearing that particular mask. So
that's awesome.
When you get to surprise Tony Drury, that's a plus.
It is a plus. It is a plus. And I do have to say one thing. I think you're on the wrong mic.
It's very possible, but the one thing I was told today is that, yep, I am on the wrong mic. Maybe why they couldn't hear the sirens earlier.
Much better. There you go.
Oh, you know why I was set to that? Because when I did the show live in Austin at St. Elmo.
At St. Elmo.
Yeah, we're using the because I'm not gonna this thing's huge. I'm not gonna.
No, you're not gonna do that. No.
It was either bring the mic with me or not bring back a bottle of rye from Still Austin.
No, yeah, you had to do that. So the mic can be spared. So
yeah,
there you go.
So apologize for the audio quality last week, but it was fun.
But yeah 100%.
Before we move on, happy belated birthday to Jersey Johnny. His birthday was yesterday.
Thank you.
He is still full of still full of shit, but full of food and beer.
Food and beer from the whole weekend, in the middle of last week, through the weekend, and yesterday. So
yeah, and we've got an Anna Chaser show tomorrow too. So his liver is not getting any kind of break.
I'm not eating or drinking anything until Sunday when I go to Human Robot, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, now I'll be drinking again on Friday night. We're going out to dinner, and then Saturday I'm going to be in Bethlehem, touring the breweries in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So that's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. So that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Lot going on. Apparently, a lot going on over there.
Yeah, there's some sort of USB hub emergency going on.
Is that what it is? Gotcha. Happy to those who celebrate. Happy International Dance Day.
So if you're so inclined, go right ahead and dance like no one's looking.
Dance internationally. That's even better.
So do like an Irish step dance.
Mm-hmm.
Do one of those Bollywood dances. It's one of those deals. However you want to do it, you can do like the thing they do in Thailand. I think that's fascinating.
That is.
That's absolutely fascinating. And there's so many great international dances that you can do. You can be a whirling dervish. That's a lot of fun.
That's even better.
Yeah. Eat a lot of food, then do that, and then keep going until you throw up and spray the room.
And then you could wish that you feel better because in the world because it's also World Wish Day today. Happy World Wish Day. And speaking of too much food, and this was part of what I ate. Happy National Shrimp Scampi Day.
And to celebrate National Shrimp Scampi Day, I made chicken curry today.
Very good. Well, there you go. All right. And to close out what Samurai sent me before, happy Viral Video Day. We hope that this becomes one of those.
Yeah, but
I have my doubts. So
yeah, I'm still trying to remember what the was the Hamtaro dance the first viral video.
It may very well have been.
Because I know shortly after that was the immigrant song "Kittens."
Right.
You know, I know that went viral, but Hamtaro was before that. That may have been the first viral video.
It may very well have been the first viral video. I think you're right. I think it was.
So you know what? I think just like 3 weeks ago, I managed to get that song out of my head.
From then.
From what was the mid 90s?
It was like 94, 95.
Yeah. So just now the song got out of my head.
And now it's back in.
No, because I've forgotten it.
All right. Well, I'll have to start singing it to you later, and then
you don't remember it either. So
no, I don't.
I'm pretty safe.
So,
I'm thirsty.
I am thirsty too. Let's bring on our guest.
All that curry.
Yeah, that curry you're eating before. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, folks, please welcome to the show our guest tonight, Mr. Brian Wright of Long Live Beer Works. How are you, Brian?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great.
Hey, I want to tell you something, Brian. You have the distinct honor of being the second in a row. This is the only time this has ever happened. First name. Same first name, same last initial. Last week we had Brian Winslow.
Oh,
now we have Brian Wright. There we go.
But Brian with a Y.
Oh, okay, the incorrect way, but I won't hold it against him.
Well, my brother spells it with a Y too, so I support. Right. I would support that, but then I'd be making fun of my mom.
Yeah.
There you go.
But speaking of Brian Winslow, I am starting the show with one of his beers.
Oh,
there you go. All right. Well, shall we pour our beers first?
Yeah.
And then get talking. So.
That's great.
Well, before
Brian's already got his. Brian's already got his.
Brian, tell us what you're drinking.
Yeah, so I'm drinking a 7% All Citra IPA out of our Boston location called Invisible IPA.
Very nice.
Formerly known as Invisible Triangles. This has been somewhat of a mainstay in the Boston tap room. It's been super well received since we opened. This was a new brand that we came up with when we opened up in Roxbury. We've probably brewed a dozen or so times in the 2 years that we've been open in Boston, and maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in Providence. But yeah, it's great. It's a fan favorite. It's super approachable. Big fan. Citra hops. This is a great beer for, people to visit the tap room that are just getting into New England IPAs. 7%'s pretty sweet spot for me. It definitely drinks. It drinks a little bigger than 7. It kind of has like a chewy body to it. But yeah, can't just go around drinking 8.5% DIPAs all day long.
You can't do that.
Something a little bit lower ABV is nice.
You can try.
Yeah,
it's a bad idea.
It doesn't end well. Yeah.
No, and as hazy as yours is, that's how clear mine is.
I wish I had one of those, to be honest.
This thing is pouring into a Stanga. Really takes some patience.
Proper glassware too. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling a Starodumsky right now, John.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
And this is I think maybe.
And you had it on the show last week with Brian.
I had it on the show.
Of course, you were on location in Austin with him,
and he poured the beer for me. So
nice.
That was really nice.
It was draft.
Draft, and so I'm interested to see how it is out of the can. And it's just as lovely. This is one of
as long as it's somewhat fresh, and you just got it, and it's
This is I've said it before. This is my favorite American Kolsch.
Ooh, it's a Kolsch. All right, cool. Yeah. That was my question. Hell yeah.
Well, that's why I got her in a Stanga.
Yeah.
This
awesome.
is such a beautiful beer. He does a great job here.
Yeah.
But I remember when I lived in Rhode Island, going to Long Live in Providence. Love that space. But I just remember loving the beer. I mean, during COVID, I think there was probably 3, maybe 4 breweries that I probably helped keep up and running. Long Live was one of them. Smug was another one because they were 4 blocks from me.
Nice.
So I could walk down. Yeah, and as we discussed earlier, Trillium up in Canton. But they didn't really need my help. They had.
I really don't think Trillium needed your help.
No. Smug probably did, but and I remember one of the beer tenders at Smug. I think I saw him more than anybody during COVID. We were like, he goes, "I see you more than I see my family."
I'm sure he appreciated that. That for me working at a brewery during COVID, certainly like kind of what helped get me back into that was like just feeling, I don't know, exiled at home and just kind of craving like human interaction.
Yeah. Even if it was at 6 foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm going to put I'll put this in the back of your car. Please pop the trunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And like half the staff you're talking to on radios, I remember, right? Because you were at Trillium and Canton at the time.
Yeah, so I started. I've been working in beer for about 10 years. Started back in 2016 at Jack's Abbey, which is an all lager brewery out of Framingham, Mass.
We may have heard of them.
We may have heard of that. Cool. Let's put a pin in that for 1 minute.
Oh, great. Worked there up until the pandemic. Pandemic happened. I was in a restaurant kind of leadership role at that point at Jack's, and that whole department basically got put on hold. Went crazy for a couple months, kind of needing a purpose. So then I applied to Trillium as a bartender. Worked at the old school Canton location until that closed down. Opened up new Trillium, the Forever Home over on Royale Street. Actually, at that point, went back to Jack's Abbey after a couple of years of working at Trillium. Worked in a sales position there, and then heard that Long Live Beer Works was opening up in Boston. I've lived in the Boston for about 10 years, but I've never had a job in the city, which I worked. And just kind of building up brands and starting new things has always been like one of the more rewarding parts of working in this business for me. And
Absolutely.
They've been a brand that I've been excited about since I first found them back in 2018, 2019, early 2019. And I was stoked to work there. And we're a scrappy little crew, and we're almost 2 years in our Boston tap room.
We'll talk more about that in a second. Let me jump onto this one comment really quick. We have from Brian Boak said, cheers, happy birthday. Thank you, Brian. Drinking Ashton Brewing, the world is your cloister, in honor of me. That's a collab that we did with Ashton Brewing a while back. It's a Belgian double with black currants.
Heck yeah!
That does not sound like it sucks.
It was pretty tasty. So,
yeah.
I actually want to take a sip of my beer. So let me just tell you what I'm drinking. It happens to be a Long Live.
You're allowed to drink it before you tell
Nice. Oh man.
A little Robot House.
I can't tell you how many of those I drank when I was in Providence.
So
that's a great
cheers.
Yeah, cheers
on that one.
I wish we did that one up in cheers. We did that one up in Boston.
Yes, it's fantastic. It's a Foeder Age Pilsner. As it says so right there on the label. But this is fantastic. This beer is so good. So there you go. Just wanted to say that. But let's dial it back a second and ask the first question. The first question. Let's go back before we were doing it. The first question we normally ask everybody. When it's their first time on.
I do want to correct something. He's right. I did not drink it in Providence. You gave me one, John.
I gave you one. Yes.
Yeah.
I brought you it back.
That's right.
The
first question.
The first question.
Because he's already answered the second.
He's already answered
the third. He's answered the third one.
The third, yeah. So, Brian, what was to the best of your recollection? What was the first craft beer you ever had?
Ooh, that is a great question. Off the top of my head, I want to say Pumpkinhead by Shipyard, which is probably a kind of a cliche like New Englander answer. I think maybe my mom bought me a 6-pack of that. Sorry, Mom, don't mean to put you on blast like that. When I was like 19 or 20 on like a ski trip in New Hampshire.
There you go.
But yeah, that's it's the first one that comes to mind. Aside from that, maybe Jack's Abbey a couple years later when I like freshly turned 21. Definitely a reason why that was like a oh man, I want to work in beer, and that was one of the first like breweries I thought to apply to.
That's great.
Where were you in 21? You were out that way?
I was still living at home with my parents, just about to move out to the city at that point. I grew up kind of
in the suburbs of Boston or further away.
Suburbs of Boston, kind of directly in between like Boston and Providence.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Gotcha. Believe me, I wish Jack's Abbey was open when I was 21.
Yeah, it was nice to get like your foundations in working in beer at like an all lager brewery. That kind of
100%.
If anything, those guys are great at like exercising restraint. Which, you know, when I was working there as like a 21, 22, 23-year-old, that was kind of just, you know, learning about like Trillium and Treehouse and all that stuff, just like excited. I don't know. For me, one thing I've noticed just working in beer, like a lot of people that work at all lager breweries generally get out of work and they like crave and talk about like hazy IPA, and kind of the other way around for people that work at like haze factories. You know, after work, kind of romanticize clean lagers and pilsners. But I'm glad that my first stop in this business was there.
That's awesome.
I hear more. I've got to kind of like, you said they have amazing restraint. Explain Framingham then.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, that is like the one series that I mean, you know, it's. You know, like the story I used to always go back to is that like I was one of the people that they hired when we kind of first opened up their restaurant, because that was my background. I'd worked in restaurants in high school and college, and from day one when we opened up the Framingham Brewery, is a lot of like, oh, do you have pumpkin beer? Do you have blueberry beer? Yada yada yada. When you open up a brewery that's also a restaurant, you attract people that are there not necessarily for the beer, which is fine at this point. Like. Beer. Oh man, look at that! Hell yeah, the salted caramel one. Yeah.
It's 2021. I'm sitting on, so yeah, you gotta have it soon, I suppose.
I can't be comfortable.
Those things are. I think at that point those things were pasteurized. I think that would hold up pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when you open up a space that's not only a brewery but also a restaurant or whatever, you invite people in that necessarily aren't just there for the beer. And yeah, kind of reluctantly back in the early days, Jack did a variant of a wheat beer that we had called Leisure Time to do Blood Orange Leisure Time.
I remember that.
Which accidentally became our bestseller like overnight. So, you know, years and years later, they finally kind of scaled that up and changed the brand to Blood Orange Wheat, and at least when I was working in the sales team, that was one of our best selling SKUs.
First time I had it was Leisure Time, Blood Orange
nice.
Leisure Time.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. On that note, what was was Jack's Abbey the first brewery you ever visited?
Yes, definitely was actually. Yeah, Smoke and Dagger and
one of my favorites.
Me too, man. I love Rausch beer. You know, having a Rausch beer or a beer that incorporated smoked malt like that early into my kind of being into beer was cool. This is the first place I ever had a sour, like a Berliner Weiss with cranberry, which absolutely kind of helped get me into this in general. But yeah, Jack's Abbey was definitely the first brewery I ever visited.
Yeah, that Framingham location is just fantastic. Did I hear right? Was it last year? They bought Wormtown.
Yeah, so they've merged with Wormtown and Harpoon at this point. They were already doing a lot of the contract brewing, at least when I worked there for. I'm sorry, not Harpoon. Jeez, my bad.
Okay.
Night Shift. My bad.
Right.
But yeah. When I was working,
like John's hat.
Yeah, like his hat. Yeah, when I was working there, they were already taking on a lot of the contract brewing for Night Shift. They've merged with them now. A lot of consolidation in the New England beer scene these days. But all three of those brands are under Hendler Family Brewing, which is kind of like the overarching entity for Jack's Abbey, Wormtown, and Night Shift at this point.
Nice.
Yeah,
and none of those locations closed. I mean, they still have Everett.
No. Yeah,
they still have Lovejoy and.
Yep. As far as I'm aware, what would used to be like production space at any of those spaces are being kind of turned into, in some cases, more space for public, private events, stuff like that.
Interesting.
I think they might still be operating like a pilot system at the OG Night Shift location, but yeah.
that would make sense because there's a every now and then they do have a few, small batch things there. So I imagine Santilli and the 87 and all of that stuff. That's getting brewed.
Nightlight, those are all being done on. I mean, Jack's does have at least 3 brew decks in their facility at this point.
Is Springdale still open?
Springdale, unfortunately, during the pandemic, did close. I kind of worked there at the tail ends of it, where they weren't really doing any more barrel age stuff. They were still doing some ales and IPAs under that banner, but yeah, during the pandemic, they picked up a lot of contract brewing. That became a big part of Jack's Abbey and the Hendler brothers kind of, business, I guess, more or less.
Yeah, well, makes sense.
And yeah, having a background, and I think writing lagers, which is all about precision and nuance, I think definitely lend themselves to being so good at contract brewing and doing other people's recipes. But awesome. Yeah, what used to be the Springdale Barrel Room is Jack's Abbey expansion now. There's small office up there, new canning line, a lot more storage, giant cold room on the bottom floor. But I was one of the manager on duties over at Springdale. Worked there 1 or 2 days a week, and man, I miss that space. They were it
was a cool space.
They were slightly ahead of the time and slightly behind the time in some ways.
Those barrels, that barrel room was amazing.
Yeah.
It really was. Cool. All right. Well, we've jumped through that. So now you started. So you started in, would you say 2016? You started working at
2016. I started working at Jack's Abbey as a bartender.
And you were there 2 years, you said, before you went to.
I was there 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 2016 to 2020, I was at Jack's.
Oh, that's right. And then you went to Trillium.
And then I went back to Jack's. So I think entirety, I worked at Jack's Abbey for maybe 6 years or so. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, hey, you know what? If you're gonna work between 3 breweries, Jack's Abbey, Trillium, and Long Live, not bad choices.
That's a pretty good pedigree.
Pretty good pedigree. Pretty good resume there.
Definitely, all my roommates I've lived with in Boston have been thankful for all of the
I could
the
imagine.
free beers that end up all the Denties or low fills or whatever.
Low fills, yeah.
Every brewery's got a different vernacular for it, but yeah,
it all works. All right, so
Shorties was another
Shorties, yeah.
Shorties,
Thank you.
Shorties or low fills, yeah. And that's awesome, though. It is. But then you're now. What got you over to Long Live? Was it they advertised the job they were opening in Roxbury?
No, actually, I saw on Instagram a new profile that was created for Long Live Roxbury, and as someone that had previously lived in the Roxbury neighborhood in Boston, I knew that there was one brewery in Roxbury that had closed down about 6 months, a year prior.
That's the old Backlash Beer.
Yeah, old Backlash Beer Space, which I had visited a couple times when I lived in the neighborhood. But
there was a bunch of cards in the write-on cards in the Cards Against Humanity boxes at Backlash that had my writing on them. Then.
Oh no! Oh yeah. But I mean, the New England beer scene is pretty small. A lot of people know each other. There's a lot of moving around to different businesses. But
everywhere it's the same.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I had worked with someone that at Trillium who is currently working at Long Live in Providence, and I sent him a screenshot of it, asking what was up there, and he kind of sent me back a emoji. So I watched that space for a while, and as soon as I saw a job listing pop up, I applied for it, and then it was just kind of working with them and waiting for us to actually have an opening date. I think they had been in that location making beer and setting up for maybe 5 to 2 months before we were actually open for the public. We were ready to go for a minute. Our occupancy permit and our fire department with the City of Boston took a little bit longer than they were anticipating, but then as soon as they're good to go, I started working there, and been there ever since.
Nice, that's beautiful.
2 years in 2 years and about a month from now.
So you're day one.
Yeah, day one. We're
awesome.
a tiny little scrappy crew there.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think
it's cool space. It really is.
I think we've got 6 people that work front of house. Me and one other dude have been there since day one. Yeah, GM plus me are kind of the only full-time dudes at our location. Boston location is a little bit smaller. Kind of the closer you get to Providence, the more known Long Live is as an entity, which is
well, they've been there longer, so that's
exactly
to the territory.
And it's a little bit more of a crowded scene in Boston, but it's cool for me to work for a business that like I've loved this brand since I first found them. I think they're making some of the best hop forward beers and like barrel aged stouts in the Northeast, and such like a under the radar thing in Rhode Island, and just kind of being able to bring that to Boston.
Oh, they're not under the radar in Rhode Island.
Yeah, exactly. I get outside of Rhode Island. I guess outside of
because they're also busy too. There's been times where the line has been out to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And that space in Providence. I mean, we'll talk. Obviously, we're going to talk more about Boston because that's where you are. But the space in Providence is really cool with the the courtyard that's there and
the upstairs.
The
catwalk stuff.
Yep, it's really cool. Spent several times. Too many hours sitting at that bar. But
same, and I was always thankful for when they had a pop-up kitchen inside.
Yeah,
it's like soak up some of the alcohol I'm drinking, especially when you're hitting the 12% stouts that
down to my last pretzel, so I'm going to save that for a couple. But
I've already finished my Kolsch because
I'm almost finished with
Kolsch's don't last too long.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to drink next there, El Beer Samurai?
Well, I'm actually going to go to a 16 ouncer, make this one last a little longer. We'll see.
Well, that's another reason why you finished it, because I'm drinking a 16 ounce Pilsner, and I'm almost done with it too. You only had 12 inches. Kudos.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Why do you think Carrie stayed with me so long? So this is John. I've told you about this back at like one of the last EBFs.
Right.
It was done entirely online. A lot of us got the box. EBF during COVID kind of. John was sick as a friggin' dog and couldn't actually join because of a bunch of his head.
I think I lifted up my head to pick up my phone and comment twice, and then I put it down, and that was it.
I didn't
have any of the beer for at least a week after it.
I don't think you actually hit send because we were actually going to send the cops around for a.
Maybe I didn't. I don't even remember.
For a health check.
I did, but yeah. I was out of it.
I never tried any of those EBF boxes, but man,
they did it 2 years.
EBF. They did it for 2 years, and the last year they did it in the box was this from this brewery. It's Japa Cerveceria.
Oh yeah. And, those guys are dope.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so good. And, like, where the hell am I going to find this? Where the hell am I going to find this? In Austin, I have this place called Witchcraft. It's a bottle shop. And they had some of their stuff on the shelf. I'm like, holy crap. So I've got the Matsurika.
Dope.
Great. This thing is really good. I've had it already. It's a Bohemian style Pilsner, and it's got the jasmine flowers in it. This is a nice, refreshing beer. It's darker than I expected it to be. But that is a Bohemian Pilsner, so it's a good color for a Bohemian Pilsner, I guess.
See the bubbles from here? Looks good.
Exactly.
And it's it traveled well. And it's a good beer. Yeah, this trip I think I bought more stuff back in the suitcases than I've ever done on any trip. So
I've brought a ton of shit back from most of my trips. But then again, most of my trips
are by car.
I drive. Places that you would fly to, I drive, just so I could do that.
Yeah,
because it's not just about having the capacity to bring the beer back; it's about all the breweries and all the stops along the way to where we're going.
That's why I like Southwest, although I think they changed their bag policy recently. But
we were on Delta. They go up to 50.
Oh, nice. And
Carrie's bag was at 50 even. Mine was at 51. They let the 1 pound slide.
Good for them.
JetBlue. Once I was at 51, they did not let the 1 pound slide, and I'm like trying to. What am I going to take out? I literally took out a pair of jeans. Is exactly what I did.
Always the first thing out is the pair of jeans. They're heavier.
Jeans are low key heavy. Yeah, 2.5 pounds probably. Realistically, maybe 3.
Yeah, pull the jeans out, put it in a backpack, whatever.
But I recognize that can. I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's got another one.
So,
man,
Brian? What's your second?
My second, I just did a trip up to Montreal last month for my birthday.
Happy belated to you too.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And happy belated to Samurai, even though we said it
yeah.
already. His birthday was the 17th of this month.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Of March.
No, April.
Oh, April. I'm sorry.
Just a week and a half ago.
But yeah, back in March, I went up to Montreal with a couple friends for my birthday. I visited Messerem, which is a brewery I've been very, very, very hyped about for a minute now. Probably my favorite brewery at the moment, like hard stop. I think they're doing phenomenal, thoughtfully done.
Favorite brewery in Montreal or favorite brewery period right now?
At this like point in time in April of 2025, they're my favorite. I think their beer is great. I think their tap room's cool. I think their branding's dope.
It's awesome.
I think they definitely kind of have like a they've definitely captured like lightning in a bottle at this point. Their food's great. Cool part of the city.
I've never been to that part of the city.
It's so cool, man. It's like it's old like industrial mills that are like covered in graffiti. It's very like urban decay meets like people kind of starting to build up a part of the city that was somewhat like forgotten. It's right by like the river. Some great like coffee shops over there. Yeah. Kind of borders a little Burgundy, which is just awesome. Like very French, very old school, working class, blue collar. Quebecois community that's become somewhat of like an incubator for like great like Quebecois and new school French cuisine. But yeah, Messerem is definitely like one of the things that brought me to Montreal in the first place.
Very nice.
And this beer is they do a series, I guess, called Citra Plus One. Where it is the same base beer, which is like a Citra 6.5% IPA, and this is Citra plus Nectaron. So it's a
oh Jesus,
same base beer. They swap up the second hop every time, and Nectaron's been a hop I've been very very into since it kind of came on my radar.
I love Nectaron. We did a beer with Nectaron last summer. It was really
heck yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's like. It's kind of what I like about like old school West Coast IPA hops and also like Southern Hemisphere stuff. It's like both like piney, but you get that like citrus zest, kind of extra pulpy orange juice has been like a flavor note I have with Nectaron pretty frequently.
Now I've got a question for you. If you like Quebecois cuisine.
Shoot.
So, so have you?
Ours was Galaxy and Nectaron there.
Oh, nice! Hell yeah!
So have you had in any of those restaurants? Did you ever have seal?
I did not have seal. That was not actually even on my radar. Damn.
Oh, I had it because I did the Quebecois restaurant and had seal carpaccio.
How was it?
Chewy.
I'll try anything once.
It was good.
Chewy.
The like kind of upper end restaurant that we ended up at as a group is famous for having horse.
I had horse in Montreal.
Oh, I didn't get to have it. All the places I went to didn't have it. I got I got foie gras. I got duck. I got like rabbit. But I didn't get any horse.
Oh, John, you just said duck rabbit. No,
he just said duck rabbit. Now I'm sad too. Yeah.
Duck Rabbit's a brewery in Virginia.
Oh man,
North Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina, that's right, and they're closing.
All right, cool.
So that's sad. But anyway, no, yeah, I had horse there. Yeah, we should probably do that. Pour some out for the homies. I had horse there, and it was funny because I got 3/4 of the way through the plate.
Yep. And
it finally dawned on me, Trigger, Mr. Ed, all of that, what I've actually eaten. I couldn't eat anymore. And the waiter said to me, "Is like, you're an American. We're surprised you got through this much of it." Because we've never seen an American get through more than one bite. So you didn't get to have horse either.
But that's what you got to do when you're eating stuff like that. You gotta, like, if it's done right, you gotta just forget about what you're eating.
You got to concentrate on the flavor. Yeah. But and that's what I was doing to begin with. That's why I got through so much of it until it finally dawned. What was the craziest thing that you've eaten then, Brian?
Craziest thing ever that I've eaten? Ooh,
Because I know the chemical, I eat a lot of things that we would consider crazy here, but
yeah, man, that's a great question. I had this so I went to this restaurant that's been like a I thought you were gonna bring up this spot or beef, so I grabbed this off of my like fridge that's right next to me. But I ate at this restaurant called Joe Beef, which has been like a spot I've wanted to go to since like I was in high school watching Anthony Bourdain.
I've heard of Joe Beef. Yeah,
it's great, man. At one point, it was like the top restaurant in Canada. It still consistently makes like best restaurants in the world every year. But yeah, I went there. This was a trip with my girlfriend, my best friend, and his fiance. And we sat down and we kind of ordered like family style, ordered a ton of stuff. And me and my best friend, Zach, kind of like looked at each other towards the end of the meal and we're like, are we still hungry? Should we get something else? And definitely pissed off both of our partners by ordering like a duck breast. And Zach, I love him to death. I've known him most of my life at this point. And I'd say this is by far the most like out there thing I've ever seen him eat was like everything up until this point. He's very much like a pizza and chicken fingers and like light beer guy.
He eats like a 14-year-old, huh?
Yeah, totally. And we got a duck breast, and I think he was expecting it to be like a chicken breast or something, but it was like old school French cuisine. Kind of cut it open. It's cooked like it's a little bloody still.
Still bleeding.
He had one bite and just couldn't do anything. So I ended up housing. I was about to go to like a bucket list restaurant like 5 hours away from where I live and not like finish everything on the table.
Oh,
so
you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up reluctantly kind of powering through that last dish there.
It doesn't matter that it's dark purple.
It was phenomenal, but yeah, it was dark purple, and I've never had duck cooked like that before. So yeah, off the top of my head, that's the one I come with.
I actually do love duck, and I can eat it that way, but I prefer it
more cooked.
Yeah.
A little more. Now, I've got to say that seal is probably the craziest thing I've ever.
I would try it, man. I
lie. I was at a Hofbrau house, and it was one of those that we were on there the day that they bring out the suckling pig.
Oh, awesome!
And they had the head sitting there, and I said,
"Come on, no.
What are you gonna?"
The seal is above
cracking the head open on the pig and eating the brain.
Well, no, maybe not.
Because that's what it did. They let me take the head. I opened it up. First, I ate the tongue. Mm-hmm. Then I opened it up and I ate the brain. And
now, would you consider the fact that you might have made out with a suckling pig if you ate the tongue?
Frenched them, so to speak.
Right.
Maybe it depends on how long I kept it in my mouth.
Right. I guess. It's one of those things you take one bite and swallow it. Done.
Yeah. I don't know, but the thing is, there was a bachelor party that was there as well, and I got the bachelor to eat the other half of the brain.
I'll tell you now. I can't speak for monkey brains or pig brains, suckling pig brains, or monkey brains for that matter. But as far as seal goes, or horse, or any of that, you got to put tripe on top of that.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And the thing is, when
I've had tripe once.
That's enough.
I don't know if I ever had tripe. What even is tripe? Tripe's like
it's the stomach lining of a cow.
Stomach lining of a cow.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've never had that.
Yeah.
Never had that.
I mean, it's like to do my best, Joe Piscopo. Kudos to Al, and yes, happy belated birthday to Al too. His birthday.
Oh yeah. Al Gattullo.
Al works with Joe Piscopo. I had tripe once.
That's all you need to do.
There you go.
I could have had it in San Antonio when we did our taqueria crawl because they have cletus.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, but I did have the lengua, which is tongue.
I love lengua.
Yeah, lengua was very good.
Lengua was good.
Saguaro was even better though. The brisket.
Courtney Cordero says she loves duck. Yeah, duck is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So I cook at home. The key is to get to slit into the skin a little bit. Cook it upside down so that the fat runs out of it.
Yeah, kind
of do that.
Remove the skin from the breast a little bit too, doing it that way.
Yeah, it's really nice, and then that allows the skin to crisp up nicely.
So just to jump back on what I'm drinking, my second beer here.
Oh yeah,
we've been trying to get to that for a while, haven't we?
Exactly. Merry Dancers. Right
One of my favorites.
This is fantastic. Dark check dark.
I don't think I ever had that one.
So good.
Our
So
port
good.
brewer in Boston. So our brewery is owned by a husband and wife team, Justin Armando. But Armando basically handles production overall. He was our original head brewer, still our head brewer, but he oversees two brewers in Providence and one brewer in Boston. But our brewer in Boston, who I work with, he is a loggerhead that just makes. I mean, like most people, to make hazy IPA all day long. I've never seen him order anything but a pilsner or a dark lager at the end of his day. But yeah, this is one of his favorite beers that we make, and it's one of mine as well.
Oh yeah, it's probably. I mean, Robot House. There's a bunch of long-lived beers that I absolutely love, but these two are probably my number one and my number two.
You gave me one of those too.
I gave you one. These are my number one and my number two, and Merry Dance is my number one. Absolutely.
I was a huge fan of Taco Nights.
Oh yeah, man, I forgot about that one.
The Mexican dark.
I should ask Armando about that. I haven't had that in a minute.
Before
I worked there a few times.
That's great. All right, let's talk about long live for a bit.
Yeah, now we're on the subject.
Exactly.
Back on the subject.
But before we do a deep dive, I got to ask you. So where you are, all right, you kind of. I mean, you're not all like right next to each other, but it's not too far away. You got a cool little community there, and I'm not even talking about the greater Boston area or anything like that, but just down the road, you got Bully Boy Distilling.
Oh yeah. They're like our best homies in the neighborhood. I love Bully Boy. I would be there way more often if their hours weren't exactly the same as ours. Oh man, hell yeah!
One of my favorite tomorrows right there. So good.
Loving the shorts there, Brian.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I got it. I can't reach it right now. It's over
there.
I got the bottle of that. It's a bottled old fashioned. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you drank that. You drank that on the other show.
I drank that on the show.
Hey Brian.
Yeah, those guys are great. We love them.
Brian, if you go at the bottom of the screen and you go to the settings,
yeah,
you can click mirror camera. We should probably tell people this before it starts. So we can actually read your hat and read the labels on stuff.
Oh man, how do I settings video?
There you go. I grabbed it.
Oh, did you?
It's right towards the bottom. It's just a flip. It's just a toggle right underneath video resolution.
Oh, there we go. FaceTime camera. Sorry, one sec.
It's all good.
Settings.
I think what is that? Here, this is one of the ones I brought back for you, John. Wasn't it Cereal Milk 2.0?
Cereal Milk 2.0, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite long live.
Oh man, Cereal Milk. That's another one.
Oh, that was such a good beer.
I'm not seeing it on my end. I'm sorry.
So it's all the way to the right, the settings thing.
See the settings button. Camera, extra camera, share screen, presentation, settings.
That's so weird. Ooh?
I'm on a Mac. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
It's still there. Let's see if I can do it for you. Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
Oops, what did I do?
No. Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Don't worry about it.
But here, if anybody wanted to read with the bottle that Brian held up before, there it is.
Oh man! Heck yeah!
Right there. That one John has drank on our other podcast, which is about cocktails. So
nice.
There you go.
Heck yeah!
There it is. And let's throw a comment up here. Brian Boak just said, "Seal wins for esoteric rarity. Most other items are available."
He's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Yeah, it's you have to. I think the closest way to ever get that is to hit a Quebecois restaurant.
This is very true, but a little bit further down, a block over onto to Massachusetts Ave, and then down a little bit, you got Dorchester's right there.
Yeah, too. Dorchester's great.
Dorchester's so cool.
Their rooftops, like one of the coolest
rooftops
outdoor
amazing.
spaces in Boston. Yeah. When I moved into that neighborhood originally, they were like my neighbors. And it was dope. They were doing a lot more contract brewing out back then when they were first getting started, and it was really cool to drink like Mikkeller and like Evil Twin and some other kind of. They're doing some Omnipollo stuff. A lot of European brands.
Mikkeller and Evil Twin are brothers, right?
Yeah. Jeppe is the Evil Twin.
Jeppe is the Evil Twin. Yes, he is. Yeah. But yeah, so the whole space, everything about Boston, and there's a bunch that have opened up. Is Is Democracy still in town?
Yeah, Democracy's still open over
over there.
I haven't been there in years. They have a really cool
are
space.
Are they on Temple, right? They're on.
No, yeah, they're over by like Downtown Crossing.
They're just up from Tremont and up from there. Yeah, and then
Downtown Crossing. Okay.
And JM Curly's is one of my a bar that I frequent in Boston, but.
Widowmaker's open in Boston now.
Widowmaker's open in Boston now. Yeah,
I'm actually wearing one of their t-shirts.
Oh God, I love Widowmaker. I was only at the one that's along the what do they call that?
Braintree, Quincy.
What's that hiking route? The Greenway or something like that. That's by
Blue Hills.
Blue Hills? Is that it? I can't remember the name of it. My memory is so goddamn awful lately.
But I mean, everywhere else. I mean, then you get up into north of Boston, and I mean, we could talk all day. Night Shift, which and that a few have closed. Two Bone Up closed.
Yeah, you're right. Blue Hills.
Bone Up closed, and then a while back, what was the one that was near a little bit further east of Bone Up? It was damn it, it'll come to me. There were down east, back east.
Oh, down the road. Yeah.
But then when that where Bone Up and Night Shift, where Bone Up was and Night Shift is, and like around the corner from Bone Up, you have Short Path Distilling. That's fantastic too.
Yeah, they do an awesome like Fernet. They
make I could reach over and grab my bottle of Short Path Fernet.
Yeah, that's it.
And the barrel aged triple sec that I have over there. But yeah, their gins are fantastic over there. Anyway, but we want to talk about the space that's in Roxbury, right where you are. That used to be Backlash and now is Long Live. So what? So that's 2 years and a month. You're saying that you've been open.
Yeah. We'll be celebrating our 2nd year anniversary, and I think it's a month from today, actually. Was like the first day that we officially opened to the public over in Boston. But yeah, we are a like 150 person capacity tap room with a bar, tables, 2 patios, 15 barrel brew deck, everything. Both Boston and Providence are kind of function as 2 separate breweries. Both locations feed distro. But if you visit our Providence tap room, everything that's produced in Providence is served in Providence, and same deal with Boston.
Interesting.
But yeah, we kind of designed the space for community first from day one. A lot of the furniture is super like movable, have a couple different like setups going on. For the last pretty much like 6 months after we opened, we started this jazz series. It's sponsored by our landlord, who was a student at Berkeley way back in the day. But yeah, it's cool. It's quickly become like our busiest kind of, at least like busiest night of the week. Yeah, we do jazz every Thursday night. It's some students, it's some professors, some traveling musicians, which is really fun. And for me, one of the more rewarding parts about working in beer 9 years into it is kind of explaining what beer is to people, because this particular event brings in a lot of people that have no idea what Long Live is when they just see it on like a, things going on in Boston tonight, whatever map. Right. We've gotten some solid like press coverage of this recently, which is cool. But needless to say, it's just brought some people into the space that aren't necessarily, that wouldn't normally go to a brewery on a Thursday night. And yeah, I mean, for me, I think that New England IPAs and fruited sours and kind of crazy high octane bullshit dessert stouts are a pretty great entry and accessible styles for beer in general. So for me, it's always fun when people come in and they, the first thing out of their mouth is like, I hate beer, I don't like beer. And, it's like, oh, here's a sour ale with blueberry and vanilla, and it's like, oh man, it tastes like blueberry cream soda. What
I've always told people over the years is, if they say I don't like beer, I said you're wrong. You just haven't found the beer that you like yet. There's just way too many. They think of beer, they think of Bud, right? Bud.
Oh yeah, totally.
I don't like. They don't like Bud, so they don't like beer. No, that's not true. Think about this. So
I hear people all the time tell me that, like, oh, I hate IPA. It's like, all right, well, I'm like, all right, cool. Try this beer, and it's like I give them like a double dry hopped, double IPA that's like 8.5%, really sweet, and like drinks like juice. And it's like, oh man, I love this. It's like it's actually like the most substantially dry hopped double IPA on the menu. It's like it's just sweet and like aromatic and tropical. And not like the oxidized IPA you had at Fenway Park that probably like ruined this entire genre of beverage for you.
Exactly.
Well, there's a friend of mine. He was actually an employee of mine, and the first day he met me, he saw the Beer Samurai logo there, and he goes, "What's that? You know anything about beer?" I'm like, "I know a little bit." He's like, "Can you teach me?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to give you one chance to retract the question because once you step into this world, there's no going back." He said, "Bring it on." I said, "Okay, first I need to know your palate." The first thing he says to me goes, "Well, I hate hops." And I went, "Bullshit." He goes, "No, it's not bullshit. I fucking hate hops." I'm like, No. You've only had American piss beer. You hate German hops and the way they're used in American piss beer. I guarantee you within 6 months, you're going to be sitting at your desk, your salivary glands are going to be going, and you're going to be craving an IPA because you're out of your goddamn mind. And he was right. I was wrong. It only took him 4 months to turn into a hot pack. So, yeah, to John's point, when they say stuff like that, they just haven't tasted the right thing yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you get the ones that, like the big pastry stouts. And God, you guys make, what was it, Small Joys?
Yeah, man, that was.
My, that's an amazing beer.
One of my favorite long live beers. I'm really hoping we do that again soon.
John, you can tell by the name the fact that I loved it so much what it's adjunct with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
coconut
yeah,
and almonds.
Yeah, almond joy-esque.
And it tasted just like one.
There you go.
If it was a beer.
Courtney Cadero commented again. She said, "Gotta love Invisible Triangles."
Hey,
there you go. That's it right there.
Gotta love it. So, so what are the so? Let's talk about Long Live overall, not just the Boston Taproom. When Long Live opened in Providence, when?
Yeah, back in 2016, we opened up in Providence. Gotcha. Started over on Fountain Street. Small little tap room. It was just Justin Armando back in the day, and then back in 2019 moved to the current location that we're in over in Sprague Street over in the West End.
Mm-hmm.
That was it was a bit of a risk because it's not the surroundings are not the nicest neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same deal with Boston. A lot of in these like major cities in the Northeast, like if you want to be that close to the city center, you're kind of on a part of the city that hasn't necessarily been super developed yet. But or
you go into the downtown area and pay through the nose for real.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
But there's
certainly something to be said about like having foot traffic in a spot versus like creating something that can bring people to the place.
And there's more businesses around there that have opened since Long Live went in.
Yeah,
because of the foot traffic generated by Long Live.
Yeah, I mean Boston's a small city, and we've got an ocean on one side of it, so there's really sooner or later that part of the city will start to be developed. I'm not saying that like it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, I mean like we've got a great coffee shop that just opened up around the corner from us that like made Best of Boston this year.
Nice.
For what they're doing over there. They're called Madhouse Motors. Big fan of what those guys do.
It's not entirely bad. And granted, it wasn't at 2 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't at 2 o'clock in the morning when I did it, but I've taken an Uber down to Dorchester.
I was talking about the Providence location.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah.
But Brian mentioned it. I'm just saying. And then walked from Dorchester to Bully Boy, and then walked from Bully Boy to Backlash.
Yeah.
And then taking an Uber up from there. So, but yeah, no. Anytime I went to Long Live in Providence, I drove to from wherever we were to.
Yeah, there's not a lot of places to walk back and forth there, but it has. But Long Live has generated foot traffic there, and there's things that have opened around it.
Yeah, and in Providence especially. I mean, we've just had a little bit longer in both of our both of our prospective locations in Providence. We're on a second one now, but yeah, it's that's one thing that's always been interesting about beer for me, just in kind of taproom culture. Like taprooms generally are kind of one of the first things that opens up in a neighborhood before it gets developed, and I've always thought of taprooms being a community space to
100%
some degree. So
it's funny. I travel a lot, and John and I travel the same way. When we figure out where all the breweries are first.
Oh yeah.
Part of doing that is to figure out where to stay. Because if you can stay near a craft brewery, you're probably in not too bad of a neighborhood.
I'm the same way. When I stayed in Montreal this most recent trip, all my friends thought I was kind of crazy. I'm like, no, I found the closest Airbnb to the one brewery I want to go to.
There you go.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Well, I usually stay just a little north and east of the mountain.
Okay.
Up in that area.
Well,
the St. Laurent.
What we did in Nashville for CBC 2 years ago, we had an Airbnb.
Right back.
You got it. We had bio break. What do you think?
Probably a bio break.
I'm thinking a bio break. Yeah,
because he was drinking before we came.
He was drinking before we came on. But yeah, not to wait till he gets back. But yeah, we had a Airbnb in East Nashville, and we were literally 50 feet away from Living Waters Brewing. So we literally walked out of the front door of the Airbnb, made a left. I had to look at my hand. Right, it's been that kind of weekend. Make a left, walk 50 feet, and walk right into the.
You're gonna doing this stuff? Oh yes, this one.
That's that one. Yeah.
You're gonna do this.
So, but in any event, we've
when we were in Nashville, we stayed not too far from Southern Grist.
Yeah, you're not too far away from where we were. You were probably a mile away. We were a mile north of where Southern Grist is. Not even. Honestly, maybe 3/4 of a mile north.
And we were probably a mile west of Southern Grist at the time.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, so if you stay near one of the, you find where there's a nice especially if there's a nice concentration of craft breweries, you've done yourself two different favors. One, you found a pretty decent neighborhood, and two, you found a bunch of places you can drink and walk back home to.
That's key.
Right. So like in Austin where we stayed on 11th, but we were close to 6th, and we had 3 breweries and 2 barbecue joints we could walk to. Right. We were 3 blocks from Franklin's.
Nice.
We never went to Franklin's though. The line's just too long there. We went to this place. I've already blanked on the name of the place. But yeah, so that's always, when you travel, see where the breweries are. And if you can stay right close to a nice cluster of them,
100%.
Yeah, you've done yourself.
It's a good kind of first and last stop of the trip, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or just good spots to grab like a nightcap, and I don't know, man. Like,
well, my first stop of the trip is usually whatever brewery is closest to the airport.
Nice. Load up on stuff.
No, you just gotten off the plane. You've just traveled. You need a drink.
Yeah,
and it works because Salt Lake City, the first one that I jumped into was Ketos, and they make some really good stuff.
That's for you, Dave. 6-0 in the bottom of the third. Mets over Diamondbacks.
Oh, gotta love it. They're just clobbering the ball. But then you had
I'm sure we'll talk more about that.
But the trip to Austin, first place we jumped into was Meanwhile Brewing. Even though Live Oak is closer, I knew I was going to be going there for their anniversary. So we jumped into. Speaking of Live Oak, I'm going to open my third beer, John.
I was going to say, aren't you done with that already?
Yeah, that one's fine.
So while he opens that up, Brent, I got to ask you.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're a Red Sox fan.
I am not really a sports guy, to be honest.
That's fair.
My list might shock you with one of my choices for what we're going to be talking about on this thing. I mean, I live within like 2 miles of Fenway Park.
I know.
So it's like I don't know if I could name like 10 baseball guys off the top of my head, but yeah, man. I mean, I've lived in Massachusetts my entire life. I've lived here when we had the 2004 championship. I'm certainly proud of my town, and baseball has a lot to do with that. But Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be an insult to Red Sox fans to call myself like an actual hardcore, diehard Red Sox fan.
Fair enough. Well, you see what it is. Dave and I are Mets fans, right?
All right, yeah,
and
that's a New York team,
right? And generally speaking, when you're a Mets fan, you're also a closet Red Sox fan.
Yep, which is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Even though we beat the Red Sox in the last World Series we played in, which by the way, next year is 40 years ago, but that's besides the point.
Oh man.
Yeah. Not played in. I misspoke.
I was going to say because
one.
Series, yeah.
We've been in 2 World Series since then. We've lost them both, but
we haven't been doing too great.
But hey, knock on wood,
understand.
we have the best record in baseball right now.
Yeah.
So
why would you say that?
I've been saying it all week. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We have the best record.
You guys got a cool like stadium over there.
City feels great.
Did Mickler used to have a tap room over
McKellar,
there?
They did.
Yeah, I went there in the before times. I haven't been to New York in
The McKellar is not there
close
anymore.
to 10 years, but yeah.
Yeah, they did. But I got to tell you, I love Fenway. I've been in every part of Fenway.
Fenway's great.
I've been in the scoreboard of Fenway.
Nice.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
Cool. Did the tour, huh?
Like 16 times I've done the tour at Fenway.
Oh, man.
Anybody we take up there, you got to take the tour. I'm going again. Yeah, that kind of thing. So.
Man, you're inspiring me. I haven't even done the tour. I should go hop on that.
So I got a picture. Just took a picture of me years, like I don't know, 15, 20 years ago at this point. Picture of me in the visitors' dugout on the bullpen phone. And I posted it, and everybody's commenting like, "I'll have a large pie with pepperoni and sauce."
Well, I opened my third.
What is it?
It is a live oak.
It is a live oak.
Okay, and now, so here we go. Everyone, try to pronounce this.
No, you're on your own. Go for it.
Well, I'm not gonna fucking try that.
So read the bottom. Read the bottom of the screen.
Volper.
You've got too many E's in there, John.
This is what you sent me. I copied and pasted.
Okay. Well, then I type out. Change that first double E into a W. Because it's just.
All right. So what am I doing?
That double E, change the first E to a W.
And
it might make a little more sense.
Fair enough. There you go. Now it makes sense.
There you go.
Volperdingerweisen.
That's it. Volperdingerweisen.
Volperdingerweisen.
It's like a smoked Hefeweizen.
It is exactly that. It is a Rauch beer. It's a smoked Hef. Is it a Hef? I gotta check to see if it's actually a Hef. But it's just it's a little too dark. Well, because it's smoked.
Oh,
that's it right there. This is also proper glass where you can read the fact that it says Rauchfest. So Live Oak does a Rauchfest every year.
No.
And they had some glassware left over, so I'm like, yeah, mine. And this man, okay, so we're doing this thing with Rauch beers where we came up with a scale for smoke because there's IBUs, there's ABV, there's all this. There is one that we know for smoke. They have one for scotches, but not one for Rauch beer. So we're calling it
BSU,
Bomberg Smoke Units.
Cool. How do you determine that? Is it like strictly off vibes, or is there like a?
Well, it's on taste. There's no way to scientifically measure it, and it's
literally no way to scientifically measure it. It's based on it's just. But everybody's palate's different, right?
Totally.
So what might be a 5 for you might be a 3 for me because I want more. That kind
of. Because some people, because 5 is undrinkable.
Yeah.
Where
so
it's really
it's a scale of 1 to 5.
Yep.
All right.
5 is absolutely undrinkable. 0 is no smoke whatsoever. 1 is you're getting smoke, but there's no smoke in the beer. Like if someone's roasted the malts and the malts are throwing a little bit of smoke, then you start getting into where it's actually discernible for reasons because it's actually a Rauch beer. But when you start getting up to around between 3 and 4, that's when you start getting into your bacon beers. And this is a bacon beer. This is definitely a bacon beer. So, John, I'm gonna throw this one up at about a 3.6.
I was gonna say 3.5. Just based on what you were saying, I was gonna say 3.5. So there.
It's about a 3.6. Because it's got a nice balancing sweetness to it. So, it's a yummy beer.
There you go.
I prefer the Grodziskie because then again, I am Polish. So
yeah, Grodziskie is very good. Brian,
and the first Grodziskie that I had, Chip actually poured for me.
Woo!
There you go. I love it. Brian, you open a third?
I do. I haven't cracked it yet because it will be one.
Oh, I recognize that. I recognize that
little Bissell.
Yeah. So this is a beer I haven't seen in a couple of years, but I was at my local craft beer shop yesterday, and I saw Oi, which is Bissell Brothers old school low ABV nitro pub ale. Cool little London Metro themed label there. Label's partly upside down because you are supposed to pour it hard. Proper little Stein right here. But crack this guy open right now.
There you go.
Show us the pour. There you go. Yeah, this is beautiful.
That is beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
That's lovely.
That is definitely
lovely. I like to throw when I do those. I like to put a little bit more. I like to put like this little showmanship into it. I'll put the glass the can all the way down on the bottom of the glass, and then just slowly move the can up as the foam's rising. It's just I don't do it when I'm just by myself because if you're showing off, someone's got to see you do it.
Some gravitas.
Yes, exactly.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, you got it. Cheers. Let me pour mine.
Oh.
I will. I'm sticking with lagers, but I unfortunately do not have a third long live.
That's fine. I'd be amazed if you did.
I was going to say, and you didn't either, and you worked.
I know.
So, I am going with a Phase 3 Brewing from Lake Zurich, Illinois. It's their winter lager, but it's a Munich Dunkel.
Ooh,
very nice.
Whether they say winter on it or not, it's just a Munich Dunkel, so it doesn't really matter when you drink it. But let me top that off a little bit because the head went down, and I don't have proper glassware, so I put it in appropriate sponsor glassware.
There you go. Okay, so I just found out this is actually a smoked Dunkelweizen, which makes sense.
Makes sense. So we're both drinking Dunkels.
Yeah.
There you go.
The color.
Oh, that's tasty. That's very nice. Very, very light, and it's light too. It's a 5%. It's a 5% Dunkel. So very nice. And I love Phase 3 cans. I'm like back and forth on, do we go black cans? I mean, I'm really liking it.
You know what happens once you go black?
Once you go black, you don't go back.
Yeah, I don't think we get those guys in Boston. I don't know if I've ever had anything from Phase 3.
We don't get it here either. This is Tavor.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So
I've used those guys before. I've seen that.
It's so addictive and so draining on your account. Your bank accounts. I love the product placement over your shoulder there, Brian.
What do I got over my shoulder? Oh, my girlfriend helped me set up this beautiful background I got going on. I didn't know this is a video show until like 10 minutes beforehand, so I struggled to turn my shoebox of a Boston apartment into something that would look nice. But believe me, I would very much trade places with you for that shoebox of a Boston apartment. Location's great.
The location in the back bay there.
I don't know if I'll do it for a couple more years.
If I could be a couple of blocks away from Bukowski's, I'd be a very happy man.
That is probably one of the closest parts where I live. I love Bukowski's.
And dead within 5 years from the from the loaded tots and all the beer.
If I had realized how their mug club is like drink one of everything on the menu, and if I had realized that like 3 years ago when I moved in here, it would have been a much easier challenge. Because I don't know how many more times in my life as a 33-year-old at this point, wanting to drink like a Flanders Red or something like that.
One of my favorite styles.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Harper and City for me these days, man.
I take Nexium every single day, so I can.
Whether he needs it or not, he takes it. That's not.
Yeah, well, I had to bring up the background because I'm pretty certain that that plant does not live on the stove.
No, it doesn't. Like most apartments in Boston are most crappy apartments in Boston. Our kitchen's not super functional at the moment, and that cutting board is essentially just like extra counter space right now that I decorated. Tried to sneak in a little whale of a Cantillon I got hiding behind my
Is that what's back there? And you've got some long-lived cans.
It is Hopeless Romantic, which was our most recent double release out of our Boston tap room, and that's that is a Song Blue from Cantillon.
Nice.
Pulled out of my cellar.
I've had a Song Blue. It's fantastic.
I haven't had it yet, actually. I'm a big rhubarb guy. That bottle has like 3 years on it. I'm excited to.
As am I.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, that bottle's got a couple of years on it. It's probably close to being ready.
Yeah, crack it. Have it. Enjoy it. Yeah.
I would do it now, but it's not.
No, it's
fine.
No.
It's like 73 in Boston today, and I got the window open. So
it was 78 down here today.
Talking about Boston bars, though, I do miss and related because it was to Bukowski's. I miss the lower depths. That was cool.
Yeah, dude. There's a great spot there now, though. I gotta say. I mean, lower depth. I had visited lower depths, but I had never been there when I'd never lived in the neighborhood while lower depths is open. But there's a great spot there now called Kenmore. That's probably my most frequented bar in our neighborhood. Shout out Randall, one of the bartenders there, and we're on tap there every once in a while, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I mean, the beer was great there. I like the beer better at Bukowski's, even though they did. But I like the beer better at Bukowski's. But the tots.
Dude. Yeah,
depths were ridiculous, and they're doing the Bukowski's now too, which is great. But not the amount that they had at
White Trash Hash. I think they call it over there. Yeah,
so good.
Oh, my favorite white trash thing related to Boston was the white trash sundae at Red Bones.
Oh man, over in Somerville.
Yeah, have you ever had the white trash sundae?
I haven't, no, but I'm familiar with Red Bones. I love Red Bones. Yeah.
Red Bones, to me, I love the fact that they used to have the wheel behind the bar if you couldn't figure out what microbrew you wanted.
Yeah,
half of them were Allagash at the time, but the
white still has the wheel. Last time I spun it, I ended up with an NA, which is not what I wanted. And then I spun it again, and I got like a CBD drink, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stop doing this tonight.
We did an NA show. We refer to it as our first and last annual NA
beer show. Yeah.
Nice. What was the winner? I've got my favorite. Everyone's got their favorite NA beer.
The only one that I actually finished, I think, was Guinness 0.
Oh man, that's mine. Yeah,
Guinness is the best non-alcoholic beer I've ever had.
Yeah. But to be fair, I've heard a lot of good things about Athletic, and I love
Athletic. Yeah.
But the white trash sundae at Red Bones is they just take ice cream sundaes, break them into pieces, cover the whole thing with whipped cream and maraschino cherries.
Nice.
That's it.
I got 3 comments I want to catch up on. Brian Boak commented. He says, second beer, his English mild. Brian's a brewer. He brews his own stuff. His English mild. And his Tavour case right now, he has 39 bottles in his crate. It ships tomorrow. Kudos.
We started him on that path.
We're
sorry.
We're both responsible for.
We're sorry.
His Tavour. Ali CJ, she said, shout out Bukowski's 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bukowski's great.
I can spend forever every day in Bukowski's.
Well, they have to throw them out every now and then.
Yeah, well, they do when they close, and then I go back the next day.
Like, you need to leave.
Yeah. And
sometimes they're not closing.
Exactly. And then Brian Boak said, still love a Flanders Red at almost 65. No Nexium needed. Kudos to you, Brian.
Yeah, and fuck you too at the same time.
There you go.
Show off.
Dave and I are both younger than you, and we need Nexium, so.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
But he's a jerk, but he's not a jerk.
No, he's not. No, he's far from a jerk.
He's just being a jerk right now.
He's being a jerk. So anyway, all right. So what are some new styles coming out in the Boston tap room?
Oh, yeah.
I
feel like lately we've been kind of honing in on what we've been going out. Our Boston tap room has certainly kind of been more or less like a spot that it's been a little bit more consistent the last couple of months. Where it's weird with distro that kind of constantly wants a little bit more consistency versus what we, IPA breweries of our size are generally a little bit more rotational. Right. But yeah, we've been honing in on Invisible IPA, which I poured earlier. We have a new batch of that coming out soon.
Nice.
Periaptive Life, which is a Nectaron double IPA. one of my favorite long-lived beers that we do. We have a new batch of that coming out soon, and then our anniversary, we will be putting out some kind of higher ABV double or triple, from what I hear, along with a couple barrel-aged stouts in the works. We brewed something somewhat recently with a producer out of the UK. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say who it is, but I'm pretty excited to try.
I'm fine with
what
it.
we did with them. Under the radar, man. They're big in the UK. I don't think they're super well known stateside, but in my book, after the stuff I tried from them, I'm very excited to see what they cooked up. I don't even think it has like adjuncts yet, but the base beer is ready to go as far as I'm aware.
So you guys are following in the footsteps of your sister brewery over in Providence, where you do an anniversary. You're just going to hit a big pallet wrecker.
Yeah. So last year in Boston, we did a fun thing that basically we took like a small portion of just about like every new hop that we used during the year and put it all into one beer, and it was this big like 11.5-12% that had like 14 different hops in it.
Was it an alpha bomb or just a mashup fruit bomb?
And, you know, for me it was like, it was super, man, it was really citrus forward, fresh, and like with some dank notes, and then it got like very peppery for me a couple weeks in.
Interesting.
Which is not even something I hate.
Was it green pepper or black pepper?
I'd say green pepper. I'd hate to say like vegetal, because it's generally not a word that like people associate with like good tasting beer.
Yeah,
but as someone that
it wasn't a like 3-year-old coffee porter. It was
I mean, it was just a big hop bomb. It had a decent amount of sweetness to kind of balance out everything else. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing something similar. I haven't heard exactly what that is going to be, but I know we do have at least a hoppy beer anniversary planned for Boston specifically. We'll be doing some kind of event for Boston. So yeah,
that's very cool. That is definitely cool. That is definitely cool.
Because the last anniversary beer that I drank from Long Live was the 5.4.
Oh man, hell yeah, going way back.
And I drank it up on the catwalk.
Nice.
So because I'm just checking my check-in on Untapped. It's how I keep track of stuff. The pictures from up on the catwalk, and I called it a tropical fruit bomb pallet record. So you guys are following in the footsteps. Love you're keeping the tradition.
Gotta love it. You have any? Well, you know what? I'm ready for. I think I'm ready for the top 3 list. What do you think?
I'm ready.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Think about it for a minute.
Hold on. I'm ready.
All right, he's ready. All right,
I needed to get in the zone.
Got to get a zone.
Not the auto zone.
Get in the zone. Yeah. Auto zone. Yeah, there you go. So let's do that. Well, we got a few other things to discuss, but let's jump to our top 3s. Our top 3 list tonight, and for those of you, I haven't said it in a while actually on the podcast, but for Brian's sake and anybody that hasn't heard this before, we do a top 3 list. Why do we do a top 3 list? One, when we do a top 3 list because
when we started this,
it was just the two of us. So top 3, 3 and 3, 1933, the repeal prohibition.
Nice.
That's where we got that. But the main reason is because Dave and I usually do 4, 5, or 6 in the top 3 with a bunch of honorable mentions anyway. So if we did a top 5 or a top 10, it would take way too long. So we keep it to 3. Hello, is this thing on? No, that was anyway. So yeah, top 3 list. So our top 3 list tonight. And did I put it? No, I actually didn't put it on there. So before I pop up what last week's was.
Do you have to type it in? So I need to.
No, I know, not at all. I just have to copy and paste. There we go.
Oh.
And save. And there we go. Our top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite movies filmed in and around Boston. Yep. Top 3 favorite movies filmed in and around Boston. Brian.
Well, good. I typed it into the tracker correctly.
There you go. So Brian, have at it. Start us off tonight. What are your top 3?
So am I doing all 3 of these?
Yeah. You do your list first. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, whatever.
So, any order you want to do it.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, no order, whatever.
I'll do 3, 2, 1. With the caveat that I was assuming that all of the quintessential Boston movies would have probably been snagged by you guys. So I was trying to be
so we'll
nice
make a
here.
deal with you. If we bring one up that you think it should have been on your top 3, you let us know. And if
I
we
will,
don't
absolutely.
And if we don't do it, if we don't hit one of those, then
there's no Departed. There's no The Town. There's no Good Will Hunting on my list. Tried to withhold those. But my number 3 is Fever Pitch, 2005.
John
I also
earlier.
tried to throw in a beer related thing with each one of these choices I made to make it cohesive with the show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Fever Pitch is a 2005 romantic comedy starring Jimmy Fallon when they were still trying to make him a leading man in movies.
He may have found his niche,
that brief period of time before he laughed in every SNL skit, and he was on the Tonight Show circuit that he's currently been on. But yeah, man, I'm not even a sports guy, but I live close enough to Fenway Park, and it is, as far as like actually filmed on location, one of the better Boston movies, maybe because a lot of it was filmed in my neighborhood. But yeah, it's a romantic comedy about a Jimmy Fallon who's just like way too into baseball, and it kind of ruining his new relationship with Drew Barrymore and how he like overcomes that. But yeah, they filmed it at Fenway Park, obviously.
And Courtney, I can see what you did there. You got it.
And Courtney just said, "Oh wait, hold on."
I love this comment because this is.
Drew Barrymore knocked it out of the park. I see. Very good, Courtney. Very good.
That's well done. Well done.
Ali CJ said, "Go Sox! Go Sox!
Go Sox!"
But yeah, they filmed it at Fenway Park. There's a bar I quite enjoy on Newbury Street in Boston. It was pretty quintessential for a lot of the scenes, called Sanzi. I've had
right on Newbury. Yeah,
I've had a Twin Comet there from Widowmaker before at Fenway Park. I've certainly had my fair share of Sam Adams beer and some cheap beer like Gansett back in the day. But yeah, my number 2, I tried to pick one. The next 2 are a little bit more deep cut.
But by the way, there you go.
No. Oh, word. Hell yeah. Right.
Waiting for it.
Number 2, I'm going to go Little Women.
Took you long enough. Little Women. Louisa May Alcott.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
Little Women.
Oh, Little Women.
2019. Greta Gerwig joint. Based on the novel by Louisa May Alcott. I thought it was a phenomenally directed, written, acted movie. I'm a big Timothée Chalamet guy. I'm a big Florence Pugh guy. But yeah, it was. There was some scenes filmed in Boston, like the Prescott House on Boylston Street and the Gibson's house on Beacon Street, which I've actually toured before. My girlfriend, super into this movie, actually brought me to the Gibson house to tour it before I had even seen this movie. And that's just like, that is like one of those old school brownstone brick buildings in the Back Bay that was never, ever, ever renovated. And they just kept it exactly the way it was from the 1800s. Some like wealthy philanthropist family just kept it exactly locked into like 1870. And they filmed a couple things there, but they filmed a lot of the interiors for Little Women there, which is cool. But yeah, as far as a beer tie-in for this movie, this is certainly the most struggle. But there is a scene where Timothée Chalamet shows up drunk to a party in Paris. And a lot of the Parisian scenes were shot at the Arnold Arboretum in JP, kind of acting as faux Parisian gardens. Right. A lot of this movie, like 75% of this movie, is filmed in Boston, even though it took place in like England and New York and Concord, Massachusetts. But anyway, you never see him actually drinking beer, but you do see him drinking out of a kind of ornate 1800s mug, and I would like to think that that's some kind of like low ABV brown ale or I kind of picked this beer.
There was a mild in there. There was a mild
exactly.
in there.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Something under 5%.
It might have been Brian Boak's mild.
It might very well,
because he's that old, isn't he?
Right? No, he's not.
No, he's not that old.
And then, then my quintessential favorite movie filmed in Boston or its surrounding areas is the 2019 movie Knives Out.
Oh, cool movie.
Love that movie so much. Rain Johnson, someone that was someone that aspired to go to film school when I was like a senior in high school. Rain Johnson was one of my favorite directors growing up. I was not a huge fan of what he did before this movie with the new Star Wars or Last Jedi.
Oh,
am I getting political with that? Am I not supposed to get political?
No, that's not political. It's not even controversial because most Star Wars fans would be like, "Yeah, you're right."
But I mean, in my mind, he totally redeemed himself as a director with Knives Out.
Yes.
A lot of that was actually filmed in my hometown, which is probably why I put it as my number one there. I grew up in a town called Easton. It's on the map because there was like a wealthy, industrious family during both the World Wars that made most of the shovels for the wars. Shoveltown, yeah.
I've been to the brewery.
Yeah, so Ames Mansion, which was at least the exterior shots for most of the family in the movie was the Ames estate, which is like maybe 300 feet away from Shoveltown Brewing in Easton, Massachusetts, which is cool because, growing up before they like filmed movies there and had a brewery there, that was just kind of a, I don't know, forgotten industrial parking lot where like kids would like smoke weed and drink beer after school. But yeah, Shoveltown is there now, and they filmed a movie at the Ames estate. There's also 2 other scenes in the movie that I felt were significant for beer. There's a scene where Chris Evans' character, Ransom, drinks is at a restaurant table with Marta, who's like the protagonist female lead in the movie, and he's got 4 Cisco beers in front of him, another Massachusetts brand.
Oh yeah.
I think it's funny that Ransom's supposed to be this like, raised in comfort kind of rich hoity-toity guy, and he's drinking beer that's supposedly based out of like a Nantucket brewery that's like owned by Budweiser, that's a multi-conglomerate. And then we also got Narragansett. He drinks that at a party scene later on in the movie.
Did he crush it like Quint though?
No, unfortunately. I wasn't sure if Jaws would technically.
Well, he didn't have to say it. All he had to do was just.
Yeah.
Did they copyright somebody squeezing a can?
I like that Gansett still prints those vintage cans every summer, though, man. That's when I want to buy Gansett. Just Gansett is different when you're out in New England coastal sunline with the sea breeze.
There you go.
100%. Courtney Cordero just said Shutter Island too.
Yep. Yeah, another one.
Yep. There you go. All right, cool. Awesome. L Beer Samurai, what are yours?
I've got I picked so many. It was hard to make. My number 1 and number 2 were very easy. Setting a number 3 was hard because it was, expanding out of the Boston area. Hocus Pocus.
Ooh,
right.
These honorable mentions
these are honorable mentions. These are honorable mentions.
Hocus
Pocus is such a fun movie.
Yeah.
And that's just north of Boston.
Because
that's set in Salem.
Up in Salem.
Oh yeah,
man.
That's some good stuff going up there. And even like Highlander, there was like one flashback scene of a duel on Boston Common where McLeod gets stabbed 6 times and doesn't die because he's the Highlander. The lighthouse is kind of New England. I don't know. So I left that one off because it's New England, but maybe not Boston area. We don't know where the lighthouse
is.
He
left it off, but he mentioned it, so he didn't leave it off.
And I'll also mention because it starts off in Boston, but Glory starts off in Boston because the unit is from Boston in that movie. So, but I'll go to my But so for my number 3, make Hocus Pocus my number 3. That's my number 3.
It's a good third.
My number 2 is one of the ones that Brian mentions, one of the quintessential Boston movies, and that is Good Will Hunting. Yes, it started, it gave us Affleck and Damon, or Damon and Affleck, however you want to order that. But to me, that movie was made by...
I think most people say Affleck and Damon.
Because it's alphabetical.
But Damon's older than Affleck. So.
Yeah. And more beloved, I think.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just the performance by Robin Williams for me.
Oh, yeah, man.
He was, my God, the emotions that he poured out into that movie is why it's one of my favorite movies filmed in Boston, is because of his performance, hands down. But my number 1,
there has to be a beer called "How Do You Like Them Apples," right?
Every beer name you've ever imagined ever has been snagged by some brewery. So if no one is snagged "How Do You Like Them Apples," you should hop on that
exactly
right now.
There you go. If not, at least a cider company in the area.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Far From the Tree will brew that, or maybe they did already. So
who knows? But my number 1 is so easy because it's not only my number 1 brewed in Boston, but
brewed in Boston or filmed in Boston?
I'm sorry, filmed in Boston. And there's a lot of drinking in this one. But it's probably my top 10 movies of all time is Boondock Saints.
Ooh, nice.
That is just, there's so many lines in that. Like, I'm oddly comfortable with that. I just love that line. It's like, let's kill them all. I'm strangely comfortable with that. And then just one of my favorite moments of that was like, do you think it's dead? After the cat explodes when they shoot it, do you think it's dead? That's just, I just love that movie. And Willem Dafoe in drag. And there's just so many great moments in that movie. So yeah, my absolute number 1 Boston movie, but top 10 movies of all time. And don't ever watch number 2.
No,
don't ever watch the sequel.
Oh! I thought you meant don't ever watch your number 2. Why wouldn't anybody watch Good Will?
No, don't watch Boondock Saints 2. It's just
no. You don't want to do that.
No, don't do that.
Some sequels you definitely want to watch. A lot of sequels you don't want to watch.
Yeah, this is one of those that you do not want to watch because once you take the Italian guy out of it,
what's the point?
Yeah, it's he.
For that movie, I don't mean that in anything else. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but yeah, for that movie. Right. So,
all right.
On to you, Johnny.
Mine. I got an honorable mention. First of all, is somebody pouring a glass of water very
Do you
slowly?
have it? Actually, to me, it sounds like there's an aquarium in the kitchen.
I've got a. I'm sorry, my tiny little dog is a priss.
Oh,
and
have at it. Have at it.
She insists on this cat water fountain thing for
that's
her
awesome.
water.
That's what it
happens
is.
to be
that's
right
awesome.
next to my computer desk.
Love it. I
can unplug it.
No, please don't. No, please don't.
I don't want you to.
What kind of dog?
I want you to bring it up to the table, and I want you to bring the dog up.
She's a Carter Terrier. I might be able to get her.
Cairn Terrier, like Toto?
Yeah, exactly like Toto. Actually, Lola, come over here.
Yeah, if there's a dog, we need to see the dog.
You can see the dog. Lola.
We always need to see the dog.
Always see the dog. Absolutely.
There she is.
There she is.
She's a cutie.
Absolutely.
Say hi to the internet.
She's like, "What's going on? Where should I look? Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Is it camera 3, camera 2?
Yeah, you ready
Where's
for
my
close
cue?
up?
She's shy.
What's her name again?
Lola.
Lola. Like that.
There you go. Ali CJ just said, "Hi Lola, you're a star." There you go. Absolutely. Hi Lola, you got it. All right. My honorable mention is my favorite. My honorable mention for this is my favorite movie, my favorite baseball movie of all time, and that's Field of Dreams.
Nice.
And only because obviously it's an honorable mention because obviously the majority of the movie is not filmed in Boston, but the scenes when Kevin Costner goes and first meets James Earl Jones and takes him to a Red Sox game and then drops him off. Those scenes were all filmed in Boston. So, 100%. And they were all, So, well, at least the Fenway Park scenes were filmed in Boston. So.
Before it gets too old, there is another Lola comment.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see it. There you go. Courtney Cordero just said, Lola is a showgirl.
See what she did there again.
I don't see yellow feathers in her hair. That's
she's Courtney's a clever one.
Yeah, Courtney's very clever. Okay, so my top three.
We need her to write our stuff.
We should actually.
Yeah.
Courtney, we're gonna get in touch with you after the show. We definitely got to get you on as the producer. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, number three. My number three is Brian's number three is Fever Pitch.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, they filmed that entire movie on location.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Fallon's apartment was above Bova's.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So, I mean, that had me right there, right? Sansi, right? They filmed in front of there, and then just everywhere, and all the scenes at Fenway, and they were in the Commons, filming scenes and everything that they did.
Jimmy Fallon's barbecuing in Fenway Commons.
Barbecuing in the
totally,
Commons.
you're not allowed to do.
They can't do that at Commons, right? Yeah, exactly.
And definitely don't be barbecuing duck in the Commons.
Well, it was
you have to know Boston to get that joke.
I know, but I love when he says like they're gonna arrest her, and she's stopping him at the end of the movie from selling his tickets, and she loves him, and she's pouring her heart out to him, and he says, "I gotta know, how is the grass? Is it spongy?" I know it's a campy movie, and I know it's not like your Academy Award winning or even nominated or even in the thought of it, but I love the movie. It's great. It's like for nothing else, but every damn scene was filmed all over the city.
What a year for them to put that out too, right?
But yeah, they filmed that movie before that all happened. They recut the end of that movie after the Red Sox won the World Series. Yeah. They recut that whole thing. It was just gonna end when he didn't sell his tickets.
Would have been a very different movie if we've gone on like 20 years and the Red Sox never actually won the World Series, right?
Yeah.
But they are to this day they're the winningest World Series winningest team in whatchamacallit in this century.
Yeah.
They've won no other team has won 4 World Series in this century. They did. So but in any event, so there you go. So that's my number 3. My number 2, The Town. The Town's one of those movies that it doesn't matter what part of the movie it's on, when I find it, what's going on, it's going on. Right? That's it.
Is that the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong one?
No. It's the other one. It's stars Ben Affleck and Casey. Help me out, Brian. Affleck. Thank you. I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding.
What's his name? Anyway, and it's filmed in Charleston, but there's a lot of scenes at the end of the movie around Fenway and everything else.
Oh, one of my favorite character actors in that, Pete Postlethwaite.
Okay, all right. And John Hamm's in the end of it too. He's the FBI director. Yeah, he's the FBI director. Yeah, it's a really cool movie. It really is. It's one of those. It's one on my list of many that if it's on and I'm flipping around the channels, it stays on once I find it. And my number 1 is The Departed. I can watch that movie every day. I just can.
My favorite thing about The Departed, and John and I were talking about this earlier, is the whole. It seemed like there was a contest amongst all the actors as to who could do the worst Boston accent in that movie. And I told him Alec Baldwin wins that one hands down. His was horrendous.
It was
his Boston accent in what's it called? 30 Rock. I find to be generally better than his Boston.
It was better at 30. He perfected it by then.
Yeah,
right? So,
and it might have been slightly exaggerated in the 30 Rock one, but I don't know. It just comes off.
I really just think they were trying to outdo each other as to who could do the worst Boston accent.
Yeah.
Oh God! All the accents were just awful.
Yeah, but there was one main character that didn't even try, and it was awesome. Jack Nicholson didn't give a shit.
Because he's Jack. And the thing is, I think you could put another honorable mention in there for Boston area because this slips down into Rhode Island that had Jack in it, Witches of Eastwick.
Witches of Eastwick, yeah, sure.
I haven't seen that.
But, that's you. Yeah, that's a fun one.
But yeah, The Departed. It's one of those movies. I'm a big Scorsese fan, so most stuff that he does. One of my favorite Scorsese movies isn't even on the level of any of the other ones that everybody knows and everybody watches, and that's called After Hours. It was in '85. It was about a guy that
who got kicked out of Bukowski's.
No. It was in New York. It was in New York. It wasn't in Boston. But he's a guy just this regular Joe that didn't ever take any chances, and he meets a girl in a cafeteria for lunch one day, and she says, "Come see me in Soho tonight." And he says, "Yeah, screw it. I'm going to take a chance." And he winds up getting long story short, he winds up not meeting her. There's a lot of shit that goes on. He winds up getting chased by a mob. It's a really surreal, really cool movie. Watch it. You ever see it? Yeah, After Hours.
I'll check that out.
85. It's 40 years old at this point, but it's definitely and it's a Scorsese movie. And at the very end, Cheech and Chong are in it.
Hell yeah!
There's a sale. There's a sell right there.
Brief little cameos. That's it, right?
Kind of like Willie Nelson at the end of Beer Fest.
It's Griffin. What's his name? Griffin Dunn, I think his name. It's Griffin Dunn. It's Patricia Arquette. Terry Garr's in it. John Hurd's in it. There's a lot of, it wasn't just like no names or whatever. It was. Yeah. But in any event, but back to The Departed. Yeah, I just love that movie. And the fact of the matter that my number two, my number one, my number two, Ben Affleck. My number one, Matt Damon. My number three. My number three. My honorable mention, Field of Dreams. In the Fenway scenes, they were extras sitting behind James Earl Jones and Kevin Costner. Fenway. So
tie-ins.
Just tied it in. There you go. Anyway, there you go. All right, cool. I thought that was a good top three list. Dave's idea when we talked about it earlier.
Yeah. It's good. Good show topic.
Well, we're getting to this point. We've been doing this so long, we're running out of beer topics.
Yeah. So I tried to tie it into beer some way or another.
Yeah, you did a better job than we did.
This is show 227, and we've done a bunch of special shows too. So we're approaching like 250 shows over the last 5 years. So it's hard to keep a beer one. And Ali CJ just said, ask Brian about his Ben Affleck Halloween costume. Right?
Oh man. So yeah, my partner and I did dress up as Ben Affleck and J-Lo for Halloween years back.
Wait a second, which one were you? Did you have butt implants for it?
I was the more low effort one.
Oh, you weren't J-Lo.
I showed up with a 4-pack kind of carrier holder for 4 Dunkin' Donuts coffees, and I had a cigarette in my mouth, and I looked stressed, and she went through way more effort than I did and bought the same fucking tracksuit as J-Lo, and this party we went to, she was upset because everyone knew exactly who I was, but no one put two and two together there.
Even though she went.
But it was funny. Yeah, it worked out. It worked out well.
That's great.
My hair was a little shorter back then. I definitely looked a little bit more Affleckian at that point in my life.
Is that a technical term?
Affleckian. Yeah.
I like that. Affleckian. That's in the Boston English Dictionary.
Boston to English Dictionary. Yeah, Affleckian.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
It's in the BOD.
The BOD.
Beer.
I got a couple of Boston clips I want to throw at you really quick.
Yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
All right, what's your favorite craft beer bar in Boston?
Ooh,
in Boston proper. I'm not talking about anywhere else. Just
does
Boston.
Brookline count as Boston proper?
No, let's go with just Boston proper.
No,
not Brookline.
Boston proper. I'm gonna go Tip Tap Room.
I was gonna say please don't say Yard House. I know you weren't gonna.
No. Boston proper. I'm gonna say Tip Tap Room.
Tip Tap Room. Yeah, 100% Tip Tap.
I think they do a great job over there. Boston's a weird city for people that aren't from Boston, and that it's a city that's surrounded. I mean, most cities, I guess, are surrounded by other communities, but Boston's weird. There's peninsulas that are oh, this is Boston, but this is Brookline, or this is, Cambridge or Somerville. So if I were to say Boston proper, I'd say Tip Tap Room. If I could go slightly outside of Boston proper, within a quarter of a mile, I would say Bukowski's, which is an institution to the Boston craft beer scene.
All right.
But yeah, I think Tip Tap Durham does a great job over there. Fun stuff that you don't typically see in distro. Good local favorites, good food, cool area.
That became mine after Sunset closed.
Nice, yeah. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
What and then Courtney Cordero just said, "Shout out Randall."
Yeah.
And also Kenmore rocks.
Kenmore does rock.
Yeah, I got to get over there.
Randall's
I haven't
the bartender.
The last time I was the last time I was in that space, it was Lower Deck.
Yeah, so you should go, man.
I got to get back there. Yeah,
it's definitely slightly less craft beer focused than it used to be, but their burgers are kick ass.
Yeah, well,
as far as it being like a neighborhood bar, they always have a fun couple creative draft options that I gravitate towards. Some fun camp things. They do like burger specials late night. Yeah, that's one of my favorite bars. I love Kenmore.
It's my time. It's my turn for bio break.
Go for it. And I'll just ask you this: what's your favorite cocktail bar?
Ooh, favorite cocktail bar right now is probably Birds of Paradise.
Birds of Paradise have not been.
Oh, you got to go, man! It's great. You're familiar with it, I take it, right?
Yeah.
It lives up to it. It's slightly less tiki and slightly more like old school Americana cocktails, like a little bit more spirit forward, less kind of juices and all the stuff that we love about tiki, kind of gimmicky bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, also just really cool space. I love Speedway. Used to be like a horse stable, I believe. In Alston Brighton in Boston, and they've turned it into like an incubator for up and coming businesses and bars and restaurants and stores. And yeah, they kind of occupy like the basement of one of these buildings, and it's like a weird romanticized 1950s and 60s airline themed bar. And yeah, I think they're doing some really creative, fun, spirit forward drinks over there. I'm a big fan.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely got to get up there. Yeah, I mean, I like Ward 8.
Ward 8's fun. Yeah.
Ward 8. Drink was fun. Drink's closed, right? Drinks.
Rest in peace. Yeah, that was like one of the bars that got me into all of this bullshit back in the day. Actually,
drink was fun.
Yeah.
Drink was fun. JM Curly's, every time I go there, I just have their deconstructed gin and tonic. But Ward 8, and especially their location too, right? Go up to dinner on the North End, go up, eat on Hanover Street, and walk down to Ward 8.
Yeah.
It's right there, so why the hell not? Right? So, and then
I gotta pause that one more sec. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. I'll hold off on that. I'll ask Dave. We just said while you were away, and I'm actually going to go for a bio break too. Actually, when he gets back, so you can take over. I'll say mine. We'll talk, and then I'll go while you guys talk. But what I asked Brian was his favorite cocktail bar in Boston.
See, I have not hit a lot of cocktail bars in Boston. A lot of my trips up to Boston were before I was really deeply into craft beer. Mm-hmm. That's when my brother lived there. It was like right after college.
Right.
I mean, I can remember some of the bars we went to, but it was mostly beer, trying to find decent
newer stuff
beer.
And everything else. Yeah, I mean, he just said Birds of Paradise, but mine is Ward 8. Drink was great. It's closed now. JM Curly's is cool, but there's limited. I like Ward 8. Ward 8 is mine.
Like when I was visiting my brother. Actually, this one time I went after my brother had left.
Talk about that. My bio break. There you go.
Yeah, so you take your bio break now, but
I remember. You call it a bio break.
Yeah, well, I forget who coined that. We'll have to wait for John to get back.
What's the most records for bio breaks taken on one episode?
Probably 3.
All right, cool.
Probably
don't feel bad that.
Oh, that one, because that one went for a while. But no, he was asking me about cocktail. I haven't really done a lot of the cocktails in Boston. I usually gravitate towards the beer. The only time I think I went to a bar that wasn't really for craft beer, I was with a couple of buddies, and they're closed now. But we went to And this is such a schlocky place. We went to the Purple Shamrock.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh man, we had so much fun there because we got there early, so we had like a really good spot at the bar. So everyone had to come past us, so we like met everybody in the bar and just had a blast with them. And my buddy was a bartender in a New York bar. And when the bartender at Purple Shamrock found out that he was from New York, it just became a pissing match.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how he won because I don't want to say that on the air. He wound up winning it. I'll tell you after we're done how he wound up winning this. Where when he said what he said, my friend said, "Can I have a bar rag?" The guy handed him a bar rag, and he just took it and threw it at him. He's like, "I'm throwing in the towel. You win. I'm done." But he was needling him the whole night. Like, if my buddy didn't finish his beer within like 5 minutes, he'd be like, "You want a nipple on that for that so you can nurse it for the rest of the night?" Oh, they were terrible. My friend claimed he was giving as good as he got. I'm like, bullshit. He tore you to shreds, man.
Shreds.
You were done.
All right, I got one more on this hit parade here, and then we'll wrap it up. Favorite North End restaurant?
Ooh, damn. All right, I don't really go to the North End too often, to be honest. As someone that lives in Boston, not in the North End, I kind of consider the North End to be a lot of like touristy joints.
No, and a lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. So
yeah. Can I look on a map real quick, or is that cheating?
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
There's a spot I like. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with it. I don't want to say. Let's see what we got.
I'm trying to remember which one.
I mean, I love Mike's Pastry, but that is going to be a complete.
Well, let's keep it to food. We'll talk about pastries afterwards.
There's a pizza place that I think is pretty good over here. I like Neptune Oyster Bar. Actually, that's gonna be my answer. I like Neptune Oyster a lot. Yeah, man. As someone that lives in Boston, North End is really not one of those neighborhoods I go to all too often. I'm sure my girlfriend in the other room is screaming right now. But some Italian place I didn't come up with that is probably important to both of us.
Neptune Oyster is great, and Ernesto's Pizza is very good. It's right next door. But Neptune Oyster is fine. For me, it's Ponza. I love Ponza on Hanover. They have awesome sauce, and I don't mean they have awesome sauce, like awesome sauce. Yeah. They have awesome sauce. Their mussels are fantastic. The bread is ridiculously good. And there's a few dishes that I get. I rotate through them anytime I go there. But I've been going to Ponza for like 15 years. It's
nice.
It's great. And Dave, anything, or you want to add?
I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I remember I was in Boston. I was opening a store for the jewelry store that I work for, and we had this one guy from Florida who had come up to help out with it. He ran one of our stores in Florida.
Sure.
And we walk in. They sit us at this one table, and it's germane to the story. But this guy and I Jermaine Jackson. No, but it's relevant to the story. But
it's Tito to the story.
It's Tito to the story. But he's a gay guy. He's got a husband. Him and I got along great. We sit down.
Courtney said Neptune Oyster.
Yeah, she knows it was good.
So they bring us the wine list, and he looks at me and goes, "I don't know too much about Italian wine. You're going to have to pick." So I pick a Montepulciano because I like Montepulciano, the Russos. And the waiter brings it. He shows it to me. He goes, "Signor," and he shows it to my friend. He goes, "Signora." And my friend looks at him like, and the waiter turns beet red because now he thinks he's offended. And my friend goes, No. I just don't know how you picked up on that so quickly. We haven't talked to each other." So we're at this one almost communal table. There's two couples sitting next to us, and I'm sitting next to one of the wives, and she's hanging on me the whole time. And it's like, I really don't know what's going on. And when we leave walking down the street. I said to him, "Don't you think it was weird that she was hanging me on me the whole time, and her husband didn't mind?" He looks and goes, and puts his hands on his hips dramatically. He goes, "David, they thought we were together." And I look at him and go, I could do worse. He goes, yes, you could.
Yes, you could.
But I think it's mostly the memories of that place, because of those things and the time I spent with my friend and the jokes that came out of it, that I enjoyed that place so much. And I just can't remember. I know it was on Hanover.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was Brico or Area, but it was somewhere along those lines.
Gotcha.
Right in that area there. So not too far from what's the window that you can get your cannolis at?
Mike's Pastry or Modern Pastry.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Here's now. So
the windows,
Mike's Pastry was. You got to go to Mike's Pastry. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I don't mean to offend anybody. If you like Mike's, have at it, because that's
Mike's is great.
Mike's is.
If I were to order,
and the cannolis are good.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like they're bad. It's not like don't go there. But I was always a Modern guy. Right.
I am too. I think that, like, truthfully, I think they're both like S tier or high A tier and S tier. Right. I could say that Mike's would probably be the only one that I could like Uber Eats at this very second and get delivered to my apartment in like 25 minutes, and they have a couple locations.
Right.
But Modern's always felt more like the less corporatized kind of more family run.
I would rather
business.
I would rather.
I think they're both great. I think they're similar style of cannoli too,
and they're
both busy. Like, whatever,
that's
man.
the thing. Years ago, Modern wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. By Mike's, there would be a line 3 blocks long, and you walk into Modern, just get your cannoli and go, right?
Yeah.
So and then the word got out, and it's just as long over at Modern, right? So now I just walk up to Bova's.
Where do you go?
Bova's.
What's Bova's?
Bova. It's 2 blocks. It's a block and a half down from Mike's Pastry, and you make a right, like you're going down Hanover back towards back down out of the north end, and you make a right and you go up 2 blocks, and it's on a triangle. It's where, like I said before, where it's the building that Jimmy Fallon lived above in.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Bova's Pastry, and they're 24 hours. That's the thing too.
Ooh,
so for some
good
reason
to know.
I'm up in the north end, and it's 3:00 in the morning. I'm going to Bova's.
Good to
and
know.
and it's not just cannolis. You can get sandwiches. You can get the fantastic Italian deli too in there too. So Bova's.
I think by knowing now where Mike's Pastry is and looking at the map, I think it was Florentine Cafe that we're at.
That sounds familiar.
I'm almost positive because we were brought in through a side door. I don't know why. I really don't know the story as to why we were brought in the side door. I think we were just standing out there trying to figure out what to go, and I think one of the waiters grabbed us and said, "No, come in here." The place was busy.
If you go up the block between where Ponza is and where Mike's is, it's Prince Street. If you go up Prince Street, just a block, and it's on a triangle right there.
Yep.
That's Bova's.
Okay, so it's
Prince Street and Salem Street. It's on.
Cool. I might have that as my list.
Okay, so going east.
Going west from going west.
West. Yeah,
from Hanover.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Bova's is great. So anyway, all right, cool. All right, so what events are coming up for?
Jazz every Thursday night, which is cool.
Nice.
Sponsored
Absolutely.
by our landlord, which is Feldman Geospatial. They own the building.
You said that he's a former Berkeley.
Michael.
I almost went to Berkeley.
Oh, sick.
I mean, many moons ago, but I almost went to Berkeley. And I always say, and as much as I love Boston, had I gone to Berkeley, I would have never moved back to Jersey.
Yeah.
I would have just stayed up there.
It's it's an awesome scene, and we're super close to Berkeley. We're within a mile of like the campus area.
It's right there, right up Wellston.
Mass Ave, right?
Yeah, exactly. Our landlord who owns the business, a family-run business, been around for like 75 years at this point. He went to Berkeley back in the day, super passionate about the Boston music scene and Boston jazz scene. And that was definitely kind of one of his mission statements on helping us kind of making some regular programming for the space. So
Thursday night jazz.
Yeah, every Thursday night we do jazz. Some student bands, some traveling musicians. We get like Grammy nominated jazz musicians like at least once or twice a month in the space, which is dope. But yeah, we have Mango Blue, which is a Cuban kind of mariachi or like a Latin jazz band coming up next month, which is dope. But yeah, it's our regular music that we have in the tap room. We do live vinyl every Monday. Monday is a pretty quiet day in the tap room as it is for most breweries. It's usually either me or one other dude that's working it, and we just spin vinyl all day long in the tap room. So if you ever come through Long Live Boston, you have any records you want to spin, feel free to bring it with you. It's like an open turntable. And yeah, we have our second anniversary coming up soon in Boston, which is exciting. Should be announcing details on that soon. But yeah, either end of May, early June for that guy.
So yeah. watch the website.
Watch the site and the Instagram and all that stuff.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan. And one more comment. There we go. Courtney said Giacomo's restaurant is great too.
Probably also in the North
Giacomo. Yeah, Giacomo.
Giacomo. You would think like you're not half Italian.
I was trying to be Giacomo. I can say Giacomo.
You got to do it this way. Yeah. It goes this way. Yeah. There you go.
Giacomo.
I'm not Italian. If you can tell.
I was trying to fit the rest of the show that we were doing tonight. That's why I said it that way. But yeah, Giacomo's restaurant is great too. Yeah, Giacomo's is. I've only been once. It is very good. I've only been once. It was probably 8 years ago. Was the last time I was there, but the only time I was there. But yeah, I've had it. Look, there's a lot of really great places on the North End, and there's fantastic places, food wise, dessert wise, beer wise, drink wise, all over Boston. It's probably definitely one of my favorite cities.
I'd say one thing about North End is you get us like pizza and Italian food snobs from the New York City area. Outside of Italy and the tri-state area down here, North End is probably one of the only other places that will actually eat Italian.
Oh man.
And to be quite honest with you, anybody in New York, in the New York metro area that tells you that Little Italy in Manhattan is where you need to go for the best Italian food, they're lying to you because Arthur Avenue in the Bronx is where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a hot take, but as someone that lives in Boston, I think the best Italian and pizza isn't in the North End right now.
Is it? Where is it?
Somerville, Cambridge, man. That's where the best.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
Boston is,
Somerville has some fantastic spots too. What's the one? It's in Somerville. It's a brewery, but a coffee shop too. Remnant.
Yeah. We love Remnant. Yeah. Remnant's great.
Remnant. Yeah,
I used to live right next door to that spot.
Cool.
That's a cool little courtyard too in there.
Yeah, dude. Bow Markets. Anytime anyone visits Boston, that's one of like the top 5 things I recommend they visit.
Absolutely.
Cool brewery, great regional style of pizza, best natural wine bar in Boston. Cool pop-ups in general. If you like vintage and vinyl, that's all there. Yeah. Remnant's great. I love Remnant.
Yeah, they're great. They're great there. Awesome. Cool. All right, Brian, don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you for a couple more minutes, but we definitely want to really thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
That was great. And sorry that James couldn't join us tonight because that would have been cool.
Yep.
James being from the Providence tap room.
Next time
we would
come on.
Next time we'll reschedule one. We'll do one with James.
I'd love that.
We'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, we would have doubled
on Slack till it happens.
We would have doubled the length of the show between John talking about Boston. I'd be talking about Providence the whole time.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we'll talk about the what's the Italian what's the block in Providence?
Federal Hill.
Man.
Federal Hill. But what's the one the street?
Well, there's actually two. There's actually
the main block is.
The main block is
just an A, right?
it is. It's all you're gonna.
I'm gonna look really quick.
Yeah, no, Fiddle Hill. It's Atwell's.
Atwell's.
So Atwell's and Spruce has all the restaurants on them, but Atwell's is the one that crosses over.
And it's not far away from Providence.
No, probably half a mile
from
less than that.
Providence Beer Company, and Efren.
Yeah.
Well, Efren's right there, because you have the the market.
And whatchamacallit moved out, and Buttonwoods moved in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Buttonwoods is like my second favorite brewery in
Buttonwoods.
Right
now. We had Dylan and oh, damn it, I apologize. Morgan. We had Dylan and Morgan. We had Dylan Bruns and Morgan Snyder on the show last year. They were on.
Buttonwoods to me has always been one of the most under the radar breweries in Rhode Island.
Completely agree with you. I'd say they're one of the most under the radar breweries in the country. I love what those guys do, man.
And I was sad to hear they moved, because the old space, I just love the eclectic.
The old space was that old space in that old factory area.
I love that look that all the furniture looked like it had been picked up at the side.
Yeah, man, it was all just like cobbled together, yet
it was
cohesive
amazing
at the same time.
But now here's the thing, though. They moved from Cranston, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, but the space that they took over was Revival Brewing.
Revival.
Who moved from Cranston, right?
Yeah. But a different side of Cranston. Yeah.
Right, but still Cranston, though. My point being is there's another brewery in Cranston. Buttonwoods needs to look out, because they're going to have to move so they can move. Just the Cranston filter from Cranston.
Everyone's just moving like within 2 miles of each other.
Right,
Providence
exactly.
is so small.
You gotta love it. And like I said, Efren's been on the show a few times, and he's a character.
Oh, we gotta get Efren back on.
He's a character. Look, there's so much great beer in Providence. There's so much great beer and a lot of other things in Boston.
Yeah.
Check. So no matter where you go, which of the two you go to, and hold on one second. Brian Boak just said his third beer is indeed Monster Mash.
Of course.
It's his 10% Russian Imperial Stout is what that is. So.
Aged in Jack Daniels.
No. Russian. It's just his Russian Imperial Stout.
Oh, the straight up one.
Straight up RIS, yeah. So, but no matter where you go to, whether you go to Providence or you go to Boston, make sure you go to Long Live. In fact, go to Providence, then go to Long Live, and then go up to Boston and go to Long Live. So there
Absolutely.
You go. And as Brian said before, the beers are different. So there you go. So hit them both up. You're not gonna, you're not gonna be.
You'll get
there's no redundancy, or maybe there's a little bit, but
you'll get your unique check-ins on
100%. Yeah, exactly.
Anything for the tip.
Exactly.
For the tick, man. You gotta do it.
100%. All right, guys.
Well, what are you drinking there now?
This is a sour double IPA from Hudson Valley. It's called.
Oh yeah, they do great shit.
Hudson Valley did a sour double IPA. No,
big surprise.
I know, right? Yeah, weird. Fucking adjunct. No, this is chocolate, chamomile tea, and cherry. It's called Bloom or Moob. No, this is one of my favorite breweries in the world. I love these guys.
Hudson Valley's great. Yeah, they're
anytime I see cans from them, I buy them, and they're awesome.
Gotta love
it. And love the town that they're in.
Yeah,
me
Beacon's
too.
Great.
Beacon's dope.
Beacon's fantastic.
Beacon's awesome. Beacon's got like the only Doctor Who themed restaurant.
What is that?
It's the tea room. The tea room, and it's named after the prison that they put Doctor Who in.
I gotta visit that.
It's so cool.
I've only ever been to Hudson Valley and the Draft Industries there, but
no, you got to get it. Just keep going north. Keep going north.
I love weird themed places. So man, that's right up my alley.
It's so timey wimey. It's great.
Yeah, but Beacon's a really cool town. You gotta get down there. All right. Like I said, Brian, stay on for a minute. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. We'll definitely reschedule you and James both and get you both back on. But on that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everyone for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. I keep saying Twitter, it's X now. And of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Locker Room. No one cares anyway. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you could do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music, iTunes Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you'll find the Locker Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Brian, again, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Let everybody know, 8.6. That was an 8.6. Thank you.
That was an
8.6. Is that good?
Well, no. I judge his outro.
Oh, word. All right, cool.
And I got to see if that does that do it for me too.
Yeah.
No, it just doesn't.
No, it only did it for him. That is
wow.
Interesting.
Cool.
There you go. There's got to be some setting or something.
No. Well, he's on Apple. Well, you're on Apple.
I'm on Apple.
You're on a Mac guy too?
I'm on a Mac. Hello.
I don't know.
It's not working anyway.
Maybe you need to activate something.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it
out. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yes, appreciate absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Let everybody know what Long Live. We appreciate you coming on, and we're going to reschedule with James. But on that note, have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Talk to you next week. Enjoy. Bye.